1 minute, so let me continue.
Hi Ajit, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir.
So can you tell me something about yourself?
My name is Ajit Kumar Singh. I belong to Patna, Bihar. I'm carrying an experience of 3 years as a QA testing engineer, and I have worked in my current project. Two of the projects. First one is web application for the e-commerce, and second one is Android device testing. And we have a team members of 12 to 15 count. And yes, sir, that's all about me.
Okay. So you are involved into manual testing. Do you have any experience in automation?
Automation testing I have done for Android device testing using CTS and the GTS tool.
So which is that tool, CTS?
CTS is a Google tool which contains 1.25 lakhs of test cases, and GTS is a Google test suite which contains around 60,000 of test cases, which is Java scripted. We are not supposed to run and pass individual test cases. So each and every test cases has to pass by CTS and GTS tool. It takes around 24 to 26 hours of time to complete both of the tests.
Hmm. So you don't test it manually. Let's say if any Android app is there which you are supposed to test, you don't test it manually.
Manually, we have to test. Actually, out of 1.25 lakhs of test cases, around 100 to 150 test cases which is not getting passed. So we have to run individually, one by one, while using Linux command to the tools, so it will get passed.
Okay. Okay. Let's say if any Android app is given to you for testing. So what would be your test strategy? How will you ensure that the testing is done properly?
Actually, here I have been not tested Android app, means Android mobile functionality is there, like media, Bluetooth, settings, and cameras, everything, and also internal apps which is there in the phone, like
Hmm.
Chrome and Microsoft Edge. These are all. So we are not supposed to write test cases here, and so these are the Java scripted test. So it has to pass automatically when we run on the Linux command.
Okay. So what are your roles and responsibilities?
Okay, I have done two projects. So which one I should explain first?
You have done two projects. So when you say you have
Web
done,
and device.
sorry, dev and device,
Web application testing
web
and device
application.
testing.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you can explain about web application testing. Again, keep it very generic, right? I just want to know how do you start your day? What are your roles and responsibilities?
Okay, in this project, at very first, we are getting FRS document, which is functional requirement specification. From that, we have to write, means we have to go through thoroughly. We have to understand the software functionality, and and all the customer uses, means what are the requirements exactly. On that basis, we have to write test scenarios and test cases. And parallelly, I have to also write RTM, which is requirement testability matrix. And then we have to get approval of our test cases from our senior members.
Hmm.
So once our test cases have been approved, then we have to start test. We have to execute the test, and then
Okay.
bug reporting and tracking, and then sign off.
Okay. So let's say if you are a senior member in your team and there is a junior member whose test cases you are supposed to review. So what are the different parameters or factors that you will take into consideration while doing test case review?
Okay, first of all, I should know the functional requirement. What are the customer requirements? I will go to the functional documents. So if I know all the requirements, then only I will able to check the test cases of any test scenarios.
Mm,
So I will go through each and every scenarios, what are their demands, and what could happen in these cases. So I will check like that.
mm. Then what else will you check?
So if there is a if I talk about a very basic example, I will take the
Mhm.
registration page. And if first name, last name, contact number, and email IDs, everything is there. So I will check whether that candidate has written every, means they have covered every field or not. And also I will check positive as well negative cases.
Okay. Then,
And then if it is required to make some correction, I will ask him to correct it, add some more cases um, which is related to functionality. And also if it is required to add more negative test cases, I will definitely ask him to write.
okay. That's it.
And anything, if it is
Mm,
unwanted, he has been written more
mm,
test cases, and that can be short, means that we can write in shortcut, means we can write less number of cases
mm.
instead of writing more. So that also we can modify.
Okay. So, during the test case review, these are the different points that you will consider, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, adding to this, you can also add, you can validate whether the team member has written non-functional test scenarios or not. Many a times we cover only functional test scenarios, but what about non-functional test scenarios, such as from security testing perspective, from performance testing perspective, right? Whether those have been covered or not. Apart from that, you can also ask them to cover the, you can check whether the test data has been properly mentioned, because test data will play a vital role in testing. If test data is not proper,
Yes, yes.
they might sign off that particular user story, but we need to make sure that test data has got various permutations and combinations covered. The variety is there in that test data, right? Then you can also see whether the proper testing techniques are being used. For example, boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning, straight transition testing, all these techniques, if applicable, are they used there or not? Then you will see whether the test cases are covering that particular requirement 100%. The coverage of the test cases should be such that maximum percentage of the requirement or the functionality should be covered. Then you will
Okay.
also see if they have properly analyzed the requirement, and it should not happen that, let's say, in the requirement they have documented, for example, 100 points, so you have 100 test cases. It's not like that. We need to ensure that the proper analysis or requirement are done, and accordingly test cases are written. So you mentioned about positive, negative, but apart from that, we also need to ensure integration level of test cases have been mentioned. Or you can also consider few of the scenarios wherein this functionality or a part of functionality which was already live before this functionality, and whether those regression test cases have been involved or not. So such kind
Okay.
of yeah things you will have to take care at the time of test cases review,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
Then you will also ensure the proper UI UX level test cases. So as a functionality has not been built, so they would have designed the test cases based on the mockups, right? So
Okay.
yeah, so what if those mockups get updated? So you will have to plan your test case review accordingly. So you will have to do multiple times, right? So accordingly, you will have to review their test cases.
Mhm.
Functional integration, non-functional UI UX, right? Then volume testing related test scenarios are covered. What if the number of users are trying to concurrent, or you are putting some volume testing of users? Then are those test cases covered or not? So all these things you will take care into the consideration.
Okay. Okay.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, I can hear. Yes, I can see your screen.
See, yeah. So you are supposed to write the test scenarios for these particular fields from and to and from and to this one, right? So can you tell me high level test scenarios?
From Delhi to Bangalore, I have to book a ticket for the flight.
Hmm. So this is makemytrip.com. You are supposed
Okay,
to test this particular functionality. The other functionality are already developed and they are tested. They are in the production, but this is a new functionality which is going to come in the next upcoming release.
okay, okay. I will check. There is a radio button of one way and round trip. Shall I cover that too also?
Yeah, so you can cover as it will be a part of functionality, right?
Okay, okay, got it. I will choose at very first one way means click on one way to validate either it is working or not. If it should work. And second one, then from and to we will put in the field of from Delhi and in the field of to Bangalore. And then we will search. It should highlight the list of flights uh, at uh, at multiple times, which is listed by the company. And a third one from in the field of from we will check with another state name like Kolkata, and Kolkata to Bangalore will be same, so it should work. And third one means we will keep changing different countries in the field of from, that is the test cases. And in the second hand we will keep same thing from into the from field, and into the to field we will keep on changing different cities, and it should list out all the uh, flight list uh, which is available by the company. And third and next one, in the field of from we should keep empty, we should not fill anything. And two should be Bangalore, and we should put on search. It should throw an error, it should not get success. And third one, uh, into the field of two we will not put anything, we will remove Bangalore, and means Delhi to empty field, and then we
Hmm.
will search.
Okay.
It should throw an error. And another one, in the field of from we will give some spaces, simply we'll give some spaces. And then and in the two field will be empty, and search, it should also throw an error. And another one, in the field of from we will put Delhi and DELHI, we will remove HI, we will only put DEL. And two should be same Bangalore, and we will
But
search. So
yeah,
it
but yeah, it's a drop down option. So you cannot remove the, see, you can select, but you cannot edit this particular text box.
okay, we will not edit, we will
Hmm.
just manually type and we will search. We are
You
checking
cannot
either it is
type
accepting
also.
or not.
Let's say you are typing, then automatically you can select from here.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So in this case, what we can do? Okay, we will check from New Delhi to any other country, means out of India, city of any other country like Kuwait. That also should be listed, and we will keep on checking with multiple cities in the different countries. And then we will come on the round trip. Second one, radio button round trip. We will start testing in this. So for round trip also, we will try to give all the test cases which I have said now. We will try with the all things. Means New Delhi to Bangalore, we will also keep empty fields, and then we will check vice, and we will check with vice versa. It
Mm-hmm.
should work and it should not work with the negative test cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And also, we will check with the radio buttons, which is given below, like regular fairs, armed forces, student fairs, senior citizen fairs, and doctors. We will keep on checking with all the radio buttons, either it is available or not, either it is working or not for the selected cities.
So how will you check that radio button option?
Here we will click on armed force fairs because already we have checked with the regular fairs. We'll click on armed forces fairs and then we will keep on checking data with from and to. From New Delhi to Ahmedabad, flight should be listed for the armed forces.
So how will you ensure that the option is working for armed forces fairs? How will you ensure that thing?
Okay, if it is listed, some of the flights means it is okay. If it is not available or there is some bug, means it will not work. It will means it will throw an empty page like that,
So okay, so
or else.
that is one of the defect, right? But how will you ensure that that radio button option is working?
Okay, we will manually we will click on each and every buttons.
Hmm.
It should means it should tick mark with the blue mark, and
So
yes,
again, that is
if
yeah,
it
again that is a GUI based testing, but how will you ensure the functionality wise it is working? Functional testing. Hmm.
Mhm.
Take your time to think,
Ah,
right?
okay. Yes, so once after selecting the radio buttons, we
Hmm.
will check with the cities from and to. Uh, it will show some list of the flights, and we will check with the another radio buttons like student fare. I- and then we will check with the same city in the from and to. It should show with the different means it will have some different listed with different time. So according to that also we can think that it is working with the different flights on different radio buttons. And one more thing, if we click on armed forces or any senior citizen fairs, when list of the flights will come, it will verify the age and where you are serving the job for the Indian Armed Forces or the doctors like that. So it will verify.
Sorry, can you please come again?
If we check for the armed forces fares, and it will list some of the flight, and then next it will verify means where you are serving the armed forces and your age, since how long you are serving like that. It will verify means if they are asking verifications, means we can understand that it is working for this particular radio buttons.
So those kind of verifications would not be done, right, at this flight reservation functionality. The verification, this is an online website, right? Maybe when you check in into the flight, at that time, those kind of verifications would be done with your valid proofs, valid documents that you will have, maybe Aadhaar card or any other document that they will ask you at that time.
Yeah, right. So
Hmm. See, I'll tell you, when
mm,
you are supposed to test this particular three radio buttons. So you can see in multi-city, four options
okay,
are coming. In case of round trip, two options are coming. In case of one way, again, two options. So you can test it in that manner. When you select armed forces fares, if you mouse over, right? See, it is mentioned. It is mandatory to show a valid ID or dependent card at the airport, without which the boarding might be denied. So here, what you can test is the fares will be getting changed based on the option that you will select. For example, in regular fares, for example, the price is 2000. In armed forces fares, the figure will be comparatively less than 2000. Now again,
Yes.
the question will
Right.
come from the interviewer. How will you validate it? Because in the Make My Trip or any other website, there are chances that the fares might change every time. So you might write in the expected result the fare should be 1500, but it might change based on the offers. So you can validate that it should be less than the regular fare. Understood?
Yes, exactly right. Right,
So
right, Sam.
functionality wise, we have to test. Functionality wise, you can tell the test scenarios. Then the non-functional scenarios would be if you click on search button, how much time is it taking to load the results of the flights available? If 10 people, 20 people, 50 people, 100 people are testing this website, so what is the load that is getting generated? So when you apply load testing, so how much time is it taking? When concurrent testing is happening, when multiple users are trying to access this website from their machines, then what is the response of the website? How much time is it taking? Same thing you can test in mobile, Android devices, iOS, tablets. You can check the functionality, the non-functional test scenarios,
Mhm.
right?
Right, right, Sam.
Check with the date which is already in past, that is a negative test case.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Check in multi-city, check if the flight is already been landed and you are trying to book the flight earlier than that particular time. Then what is happening, right? Check you are trying to
Okay.
book some flight which is not available. So
Right, Sam.
those all scenarios. So focus on functional scenarios that will increase your chances of getting selected. Non-functional scenarios also are very important. UI UX scenarios, whether that is clickable, whether you are able to select it, those are necessary to be tested. But again, those would be requiring one round of testing. Those are not functional scenarios. But if your
Mm-hmm.
functionality is not working, there are chances that you might not be able to sign off a particular ticket. Okay. Now,
Yes.
next question is what you were telling about requirement traceability matrix. So what is requirement traceability matrix and how will you create that particular matrix? What are the different fields? What are the different data that you would require in that matrix?
Okay. So requirement facility matrix, I means we have been while writing test cases. Parallelly, we have been written this, and here we have been written requirement, test scenario, and test cases. These three should be covered here with RTM. So if we write RTM, we are making sure that we are not able to means we are not living with any of the test cases and test scenarios. Means it will cover all the test cases of each and every scenarios.
Okay, what else you will mention in the requirement traceability matrix?
If we are going to test login page, so login page would be a one scenario, registration page would be one scenario, mobile section would be one scenario, and tablet section would be one scenario. And out of this, we will write multiple test cases for each scenarios. So here requirement, test scenarios, and test cases would be mapped.
Requirement test scenarios and
Test
requirement
cases.
test cases. Are you sure in case of matrix?
And if we want to add, we can add priorities sprint wise if it is going to deliver on the later onwards at the end of the sprint, so you will keep on priorities like that.
Okay. In traceability matrix, you will have a link of the FRD document and you will have the link of the test cases document. Those would be mapped together. Once you click on the link of the test cases, you would be redirected to the test scenarios or detail level of test cases that you have mentioned, right? So that's
Yes.
the linking of requirement traceability matrix. You are telling about sprint. So, which are the different meetings or which are the different ceremonies that you are attending in case of Agile?
Okay. Here we are having every day of stand-up meeting, means what are the pending works which has to complete today, and anything which is going to add in the existing software. For that also we are having a meeting, and anything which is getting update, like any software update, tools, plan change. So for that also we are having a meeting. And apart from that, once we have complete any of these the sprint, we are having at the end of the sprint one meeting that is called retrospective meeting, where we are discussing about improvements, negative points, means what went wrong, what went well, and what we should do better for the next sprint. Related to that, we are having a meeting. So these are the ceremonies.
Okay. Let's say if this website is given to you for testing. Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
So
can
this,
see this.
yeah. So this is the website given to you for testing. So how will you give estimation? How will you give test estimation?
Actually, test estimation means test. It is a part of test plan, which is decided by Scrum Master, product owner, and senior members. So they are involving in the test plan, and they do decide that means how long it should take to complete this sprint. So if we talk about any single module, means there is a story, right? If we talk about any single module, it should take 6 to 8 hours of time to complete, including development and testing both. For that, we have to mention story point in hours. But here it depends on some modules, how long it is, means how long functionality of any single module is.
Okay, see, test estimation is something that would be decided by the QA itself, QA team, some member from the QA team who is going to test along with the QA lead, right? That will not be decided by the Scrum Master. At the same time, when you give estimation, you would see how many
Okay.
number of test cases are being derived, what is the complexity of that particular application or software which needs to be tested, how many people are getting involved, is there any automation being done or it is totally a manual effort? What are the different functional scenarios or the acceptance criteria that you have to test, right? Is the criteria related to the functional or non-functional perspective? So all these things you will have to determine while doing the estimation, right?
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
Okay, so this was about estimation, and since this is an e-commerce website, if that particular in that particular company or in any such kind of project has come, so one kind of reference you can take. Okay, three people were working for this kind of website, so they took this much amount of time, or let it be your team. So you can determine the velocity of your team based on the agile methodology, and accordingly you can also give high level estimation.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Ajit, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir, I have a question here. At the very beginning of the interview, you asked me a question that while checking with the test cases, what are the things you will cover?
Hmm.
So you said that test strategy, and there was another one point.
So
So
while
I am here
reviewing test
confused that
cases, yeah, while reviewing test cases, test strategy will not come into the picture.
it is a part of test plan, right? So,
No. Again, see, test plan and test strategy are two different things. Test plan can be modified, but test strategy cannot be modified. You cannot change your test strategy. You cannot change the way, the approach of testing an application,
mhm,
right? Test plan can be changed
okay,
based on the runtime decisions that can be taken.
Mm.
Yeah. So what was your question?
While verifying test cases, does it require to cover the test strategy also?
No, no. We need
And
test data. We need testing techniques which are being used. For example, it's a junior member and he or she has to test the various flow within the application for various countries, let's say, or you can say for various numbers ranging from 1 to 50. Then you have to ensure that they use proper technique like boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning based on what needs to be tested.
equivalence.
They should not be testing with all those 50 values. This will
Okay,
this will
right.
take lot of time, and
Six,
again, yeah,
7 to 8. For that 7 to 8 test cases, we will make it.
7 to 8 test cases. It depends on which test cases are
Ha ha.
applicable in which you can use those testing
Hmm.
techniques. Hmm.
And you also said about the non-functional part. So if we are not supposed to test the non-functional testing, why we should write test cases for
Hmm.
that?
Okay. See, let's say you are in a service-based company. In a user story that you have got, there are no non-functional acceptance criteria mentioned, but you as a tester feel that non-functional testing should be done. For example, it's the new page that has been created, so we need to test how much time that page load will take. So you will write the test cases, you will design those test cases, and you will discuss with the product management team or the business analyst that this part also needs to be covered. So see, quality is something that will be your ownership, that will be the responsibility of the testing team. So it might be
Okay,
skipped from someone else in the team, but in the agile, it is QA's responsibility to highlight those points. If it comes from the let's say any stakeholder that this particular page is taking a lot of time, so the next question will be why it was not found in testing. Then they will take, okay, no test cases were added. Then you will tell, no, user story also did not have acceptance criteria. So it doesn't work like that. Being a tester, we need to take those ownership, we need to be responsible. If they tell that
right.
this is not in scope of testing, then you will update the test plan with, you will be mentioning in the test plan what is there in the scope, what is not there in the scope. So you can update the test plan that performance testing is not in the scope. Even if you
Okay,
have designed the test case, you can write not applicable, you can write remarks, it has been discussed on so and so date that this does not need to be covered. Simple.
right, right.
We should be very clear
Okay,
from our end, right? And whether it's
right.
functional or
So,
non-functional, both we have to cover.
okay, okay, right. So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ajit, and wish you all the
thank you
best for
so,
your career. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much.